Hello everyone, my name's FlareBlitzed and welcome back to Novena Diabolos. Are you excited for more of this game? Because we're going to get right back into the thick of it. If we want Sumi to fully trust us, even though I think she is one of the murderers, then we should really fill that red bar up at the bottom to its fullest, even though I realise that my webcam has been in it for the entire time, but it is the place that there's the least amount of obstacles in the way. Sumi? Do you want to sue me? Go ahead. Okay, I should go see Sumi. Before going to the school today, I decided to stop by the abandoned village. I'm pretty certain Gunsook Park must have lived around here somewhere back then. That was at the first murder site, I believe it was. Somebody with an almost faded out ID except with the last name of Park on it. Hope Hill Village was built fairly recently by a bunch of religious people. That means Gunsook's old home is located outside of Hope Hill, according to Gunsook's diary. They had a large ginkgo tree nearby. There's no such thing anywhere around Hope Hill Village. All the more reason that Gunsook's house will be somewhere around here instead. You think nearby. Will we find anything though? A question mark. Now that looks promising. A house all the way out on its own. I can see a ginkgo tree in the distance. Next to it is an old house, most likely where Gunsook lived. Something feels off. Yeah, I think everywhere around us looks a little bit off, I'm not gonna lie. There's a strange coldness. I rub my freezing arms and enter the old house. Elderly, creaky house. Is there anybody home? Well, I hope it's not anyways. Well, there's a box underneath the, where the mattress would be laying on top. This is it. This must be where Gunsook's family lived back then. There's not much left, but there may be some clues around here. Time to see what I can find. Let's investigate Gunsook's house with the exclamation mark over that. I think it has a preset location, regardless of how long the text is. Probably something for the developers or translators to look into. So let's look at the things with the eyes of them first, because I realised last time when looking around the school that I didn't look at everything with the eyes, and I couldn't have done that because we looked at everything with the hands. There's a mirror that looks as if it's been pieced together. Why do I feel like I'm in a horror movie and something's about to pop out of there? Sumi? I feel chills and step back. Let's see. Is Sumi really in here somewheres? That's the house's back door. If I hear villagers approaching from the front, I could probably escape through there. But then they could also hear you as well. Looking at the door makes me feel paranoid. So I turn away. Yep, do not look at said door. Although at the moment, what I am looking for is anything Was there something up here? I feel like there was something there, I don't know why. Let's see. Floor. Anything? There's a big cabinet, okay. Wow. Time has taken its toll, making the cabinet very hard to open. However, there's nothing inside of it. All that effort for nothing. I close the cabinet door again and step back. Like anything else regarding the cabinet. What's that? I see something under the desk and reach out. It's an old small box. I wonder why it's here of all places. Upon opening the box, I see some old notebooks. I take them out one after another and find one in particular that stands out. It's a notebook from 1984, so 5 years after? Because I believe it's 1979 when the interactions happened. Gunsook Park. So this is the house itself in which he lived in. I carefully analyze the bookshelf. It's a diary. Gunsook Park, the elementary school friend of Sumi, had grown up and become a high school student. I take another look at the diary's front cover. For a moment, I'm filled with a deep sense of both appreciation and fascination. I'm about to get a glimpse into someone else's life and find out how it all went. I know it's probably not as special as I think, but still. I blow the dust that has accumulated over the years off of the diary and carefully open it up again. There we go. November 2nd, 1984 is a national holiday, so our school, as well as all other high schools nationwide, have been preparing for a student day. While other schools hold various basic sports events, sports days, and athletic meets, our principal wants to have a mountaineering competition. The class leaders, including me, were able to climb and make preparations in advance. The teachers and students were putting up banners and flags on the mountain, and suddenly the sky turned black, like during the darkest night. Then it shone in a cold blue. Despite the cold weather, a hot wind blew and strange screams echoed throughout the mountain. It was a really scary experience. Students and teachers alike were really unsettled by it. When I told Mother about it, she was really worried. Was it the forthcoming of this supernatural? And said a sky like that is a sinister omen. I wonder what that was all about. 5 years after the last time we met up with Sumi, although there's probably events in here which we've not yet discovered between 1979 and 1984. Because of Student Day, our school held a mountaineering competition. I felt strangely unwell and couldn't participate, but I wasn't the only one. Oh, some of the others felt so bad they couldn't even come to school at all. Most of them were the class leaders who had made preparations for the event yesterday. Because of that, there was a shortage of supervising students, so the teacher committee members were upset and stressed out throughout the event. I really wanted to help out, but I felt so bad I had to leave early. November 4th. I couldn't even get up this morning. This is some kind of curse going on here. I didn't go to school because my whole body felt weak and unable to move. In the afternoon, Sumi and Kwan came to the hospital to visit me. They were worried about me. Sumi seemed especially shocked. There it is, Sumi. This is Sumi Choi's story. Judging from this, I take it Sumi must have also become a high school student. I stopped turning the pages for a moment and think about everything. Something strange happened with the sky, yeah. A sinister omen. And following that, people fell ill with an unknown condition. Maybe this is what caused this village to become abandoned. But wasn't the village built recently? It's hard to tell if this is somehow related to my current situation, but then again, recently could be like 50 years ago or something. This village is definitely what you would call the nearest place to the realms of what is the thinnest portion that there is between the lines of reality and fiction. I continue reading through the diary, a potential gateway for the supernatural. November 5th. Sumi came to visit me at the hospital again today. I had heard from the school many more students are absent, suffering from the same sickness as me. Actually, it's not just students, but also teachers and other locals. It appears to be something like the flu, but I heard the village doctor is bringing in a doctor from the city because he doesn't know the disease's name or cause. Everything will be fine once the doctor from the city gets here. But what if they also subsequently catch it? November 7th. A doctor from the city came to me today, together with Sumi and Kwan. I was a little scared because the doctor said everyone entering my room should wear a mask and gloves. Shouldn't we all, for goodness sakes, in this day and age? But not everyone chooses to do that. And therefore are spreading God knows what's everywhere. You know what I'm getting at, by the way. After a quick look at my symptoms, the doctor confirmed it's the same disease as the others. But what disease is it? But he still doesn't know what it is. He took some blood from me for a serum test. I saw Sumi's expression. She looked so worried, but I laughed and told her to stop making such a face. After my friends and the doctor left, I suddenly had to cry. The worse my physical condition, the more anxious I get. What happened to everyone? November 15th. I heard that one of the other class leaders, Mahayan, died. Soyan is getting worse and worse too. My mother held my hand tight as she told me. She looked so worried and depressed. Hearing about the others scared me. There doesn't seem to be any cure for this. I couldn't even keep down a few spoonfuls of rice a day. Mother and father also appear to be struggling. Most of the people here say they feel weak and powerless. Don't we all feel weak and powerless when it comes to the forces of unknown. The unknown is the greatest fear after all, because you have no idea what it could do. Despite everything, Sumi and Kwan visited me again today. It wouldn't surprise me if Sumi never catches any kind of bacterial or viral diseases. But this time, Sumi said she wouldn't be able to come again for a while. She couldn't tell me the reason. Shaman related stuff. She was crying the whole time while she said that. What's going on? I'm weak, but I'm still worried about Sumi. November 30th. The results of a blood serum test came back. There are shared symptoms, but cause is unknown. Oh, it doesn't appear to be contagious, which is really interesting. So it's a targeted curse. No confirmed cases reported other than the locals. I don't understand. 5 people have already died. Many villagers are struggling. 2 pregnant women had miscarriages. Ouch. Kwan said because the whole village is like this, they're looking for a new mayor to handle the situation. He cried the whole time. What's the new mayor going to do in comparison to the previous one? I miss Sumi. I want to see her. If it's not contagious, then there's no risk of transmitting it to others. But of course, there's also your physical health. Huh? The diary ends here. I keep looking through it, hoping to find something. Ultimately, what happened? So, what happened against Sumi? At that moment, a thick piece of paper stuck in the back of the diary falls out. Pick it up. It's a letter. Dear Gensuk, it has already been 15 days since you died. I have tried to visit the place where you were buried many times, but the government keeps me from getting close, warning about the risk of disease. That's why I'm leaving you this letter here. I'm moving away tomorrow. Wow. Most villagers think it's no longer an option to stay here, so I think others will follow and will soon leave as well. Gensuk, tell me. Oh, this is Kwan. Have you and Sumi met up there in the sky? We were also close. Wait, what do you mean by Sumi's also there as well? Sounds like Sumi also succumbed to this disease. We were also close that these words break my heart as I write them. And initially you didn't even want to like Sumi. I'm so sorry I couldn't do anything. What can you do against the forces of the unknown? Nothing. And that goes across for all of us. It's a universal thing. I hope you feel a lot better now. Please say hi to Sumi from me when you see her. Take care. Gensuk and Sumi are dead. No, it's not the doorbell, it's just the song. According to this diary, both Gensuk and Sumi eventually died here in this village. I can't help but feel sad about the tragic fate of these 3 close friends. But if this is what happened, how are the Sumi Choi I know and the Sumi Choi that died related? Trying to piece it all together, I casually turn over the letters. Well, souls are... yeah, exactly. That looks just like her. A close friendship of 3 people. And in this state, the Sumi we know and the Sumi here look incredibly identical. Almost too coincidental to not be true, which is the fact that Sumi is the same one. But there seems to be some kind of resurrection here of sorts. Or the forces of the unknown decided, hey, you know what we're going to do? We're going to use this soul that we've captured from the afterlife, or passing through the afterlife, and we're going to use it as a vessel, as a means to capture potential victims that pass through into this village. I'm so shocked that I have to choke for a moment. There's an old worn out photo. Yep. With the Sumi Choi I know clearly visible on it. What's going on here? Huh? Before I could gather my thoughts, I heard a loud, sudden noise coming from outside. I'm so taken by surprise I almost fall over, but I managed to stay focused. Sumi, are you doing one of your rituals again? What the... A strange alien sound that doesn't belong here. This can't be good. Is that... them? I mumbled in fear and looked towards the source of the sound. Dash right outside. to see what that sound is. With an ominous sense of foreboding, I run outside without even really thinking about it. And... oh, what, Sumi again? Is that Sumi? Sumi's lying on the ground in a terrible state, and in front of her there's... You fiend. Not friend, you're a fiend. A man wearing a black priest's robe, exuding an aura of pure evil and malice intent. No way, that's... The robed man stares at me with a blank expression, and then... Ick. Oh dear. And... has he gone, making a grotesque sound that I can't comprehend, he vanishes. Afterwards, everything is quiet once more. That must be towards the catalyst of why this happened. I still find myself unable to move from the shock and remain stuck in place. I have to think. I know they're dangerous, but this? But this what? I'll have to look at that later. Okay, what to do? Sumi Choi, hey! Hey Sumi! Sumi, wake up! She might be having a nightmare, or she's constricted by this fiend. I shake Sumi's fainted body, but there's no response. I pick Sumi up. First, I have to get her to the motel. Post haste, pronto, and... Luckily, Sumi has the key in her bag, so getting into her room doesn't pose a problem. I carefully lay Sumi down. Whew, I'm beat. Carrying someone who's unconscious is already quite hard in and of itself, but it really exhausted me mentally as well. I lean against the wall and take the photograph I grabbed out of my pocket. You should not have left that visibly open out for her to potentially see. No matter how often I look at it, there really is no doubt. It's the same person I'm standing next to right now, although the Sumi Choi in the photograph died back in the 80s. But then, who is the Sumi Choi in front of me? This is giving me a headache. Nothing about this makes even a lick of sense. As I keep pressing my hands against my temples in frustration, Sumi? Sumi groans and slowly opens her eyes. You are back in your room. You're in your room. Hi. Did you lose again? What do you mean by again? Lose again? She was in a fight? Why? A endless amount of questions keep popping up in my head. However, one question in particular takes precedence over all others. Sumi, how old are you? You don't remember. It could be like an infinite time loop where she's stuck in the same age. Are you? A real person? Human? Damn, I hope that wasn't too direct. You already died a long time ago. What? That is actually true, though. We didn't even ask. You can't be. Did you seriously just say that? You mean how I found out you're actually a ghost of the past? Okay, where to even start? Take a look at this. I take out the diary and hand it to Sumi. It's a diary. It belonged to your friend Grensuk. More memory erasures. Really? I'm confused. The way Sumi looks at the diary makes it seem like she means it. Grensuk. She really doesn't remember. But then what about the photograph? Cannot remember. What do you mean? You don't remember anything? Is that what the purpose that you've been given by the forces of evil as a false promise to try and drive away evil in the hopes of regaining your humanity? So you really can't remember. You've never heard of this person before, even though you took this photo together. Photo, yes. I hand Sumi the photograph and she slowly accepts it. That is you. Yep. I'm gonna sense some really bad headache pain coming on here. That's right. Do you remember now?
맞아. 나는 근수기를 왜 이렇게 중요한 걸?
Because whatever casted you back into life of some sorts wants you to forget it. Oh no.
난 지금까지 도대체 뭘 한 건데?
Damn. Hey, Sumi. Sumi stares into the air and starts sobbing. She looks so desperate, and yet I don't know what I could possibly do to help her. Sumi, I reach out to comfort Sumi, but she seems to be somewhere else in her mind. I don't know what to say during a moment like this. Sumi doesn't even seem to realize I'm still there with her. Are her memories of Gensa coming back to her? I wonder what things she remembers that cause her such sadness and anger. There has to be a reason she still roams this place after all this time. Feeling power as I keep looking at Sumi, who keeps crying with tears running down her face. I quietly get up and move out of her room. I lean against the hallway wall just outside her door. So many things that I can't make sense of happened in such quick succession without me having the chance to think. I wonder what all of this means. Sumi and Gensa were friends back then. Both of them died from the same mysterious illness. However, there seems to be more to the whole story than that. Also, Sumi claims to be the ghost of the Sumi Choi that died back then. Yet she couldn't remember Gensa at all. And then as soon as she saw the picture, all this is confusing. I need some time to quietly think things through. I stay in the hallway a little longer, then make my way to the next destination. What would that next destination be, if you ask me? There's still some time left for who should you visit? Well, I can't visit Sumi again. Ghost? Definitely. Let's try and talk to our nervous vampire friend, for goodness sakes. Right, Mina. Okay, I should go see Mina. Mina, that's her name. I haven't even really spoken to her yet. She's staying in room 202 on the second floor. Could she really be the vampire mentioned in the tale? As of right now, I don't know anything about her, really. Honestly, I don't even know how to start this conversation. Hesitant, I stand in front of Mina's door for a while, but then I knock. Yeah, exactly. It is June, son. I can hear a tense, nervous voice coming from inside the room. Her surprisingly human reaction somehow makes me feel relieved. Honestly, I doubt such an almost cowardly voice could really belong to a monster trying to trick me. Facades! I'll make sure to choose my words carefully. Hello? My name is P.D. Junsun Park. Are you familiar with a program called News Trace? No. The cute weatherman, wow. Ah yes, our beloved weatherman and anchor Lee Jong-kai, a celebrity in his own right, known for his catchy slogan, and that, dear viewers, is why. He's become somewhat of a symbol of mascot for News Trace, or NASCOT, sorry. We are a current affairs program, but he's one of the biggest reasons why we are also popular with people who aren't into that sort of stuff. Anyway, this is a perfect icebreaker, and something tells me it'll be easy to start a conversation. Good to know. I clear my throat to relieve the tension a little. And that, dear viewers, is why. You could maybe open up the door? I do my best to imitate our weatherman's charming voice. Normally I would never ever done this, even if my boss had insisted on it. I'd rather switch jobs than humiliate myself like that. Hello? Desperate times, desperate measures. At least it works, and Mina opens up the door. I'm amazed for a moment. She's taller than I remember, and her very young face is somewhat at odds with her height. Don't misjudge somebody's age with her height. While she watches me carefully, I extend my hand and give her my business card without saying anything. Hello? Are you okay there?
잠시 들어와 주시면.
Okay, we'll come in. Thank you. Okay. Mina closes her door, making extra sure it's shut tight, then sits down and exhales. She looks like she's just been through a highly exhausting ordeal. I take a look around and find a place to sit that's not too close to her. She looks fragile and vulnerable, and the last thing I want to do is scare her. I think it's best to maintain an appropriate distance. I agree. Nice to meet you. Your name is Mina Juan, is that right?
네. 어떻게 아셨어요?
One of the locals told me. The motel owner told me. Said he's worried about you never coming out of your room.
절 걱정하신다고요?
Yeah. Well, vampires tend to not be around when there's a lot of sunlight. Her voice is filled with fear and confusion. I don't know how to react, and the weird atmosphere makes it difficult to continue the conversation. I think about the motel owner for a moment. His eerie, dirty face pops up in my mind. He's part of this village as well, meaning that he must somehow be connected to the devil too. But there's no way young Mina here would know anything about that. Right? I can't tell she knows what I'm thinking. Mina stares at a business card I handed her. Something highly worrying appears to be plaguing her mind. I'm not here to interview you. Her overly cautious attitude is a little frustrating because it complicates things. But at the same time, I can absolutely understand her concern. Yes, a stranger just walking into your room. I don't think I'd ever fully trust someone I'd never met before either.
PD님이라고 하셨죠?
Yep, program director in the flesh. Correct. News Trace's very own PD Judson Park in the... And the wrong choice of words considering it's a vampire. She hesitates once again. This is not how a conversation is supposed to flow. Goodness sakes! You know that recent case about escalating game violence cases? I reported it and helped solve it. I boast about one of my biggest accomplishments, hoping that it makes her have a little more faith in my trustworthiness. Do you know what one of my biggest accomplishments are, Mina? I am the first English-speaking person to have completed Purgatory 2 Demonic Mode and have proof of my completion of it. Truth be told, I was merely the assisting PD in that case, but I still played a large role, and the story was widely reported. However, Mina just shakes her head. Well, you really haven't heard about that one? It was a pretty big deal.
죄송해요.
You're sorry?
제가 그 프로를 자주 보는 건 아니라서.
Okay, you just watch it for the new weather report, I imagine. Oh, no big deal. There's nothing to be sorry about. So, what about the murder case at Manjun Middle School?
몰라요. 죄송해요.
We could flip through all of your achievements, and she's like, no, sorry. Damn it, I don't know that one. The two biggest accomplishments in my career, discarded just like that. Ouch. I scratch my head in confusion for a moment, but make sure to quickly put on a more cheerful expression. So, any episodes or reports in particular that you do remember?
그 엽기 강아지 사건?
Bizarre case with the dog puppies.
그거 되게 무서웠어요.
The dog puppy case. Seok-Hong Kim's work. That case shook the whole country. I remember that. I was still a rookie, and Seok-Ho Kim gave me a hard time. Still, it felt rewarding. Those memories shaped me, and taught me what kind of person he really is. Anyway, at least this is something to tie our conversation together. Oh yeah, that one. I worked on that too. Finding people and getting testimonies from them was really difficult. But at the end of the day, the culprit was caught, so everything was worth it. I'm still very proud of it.
와, 그러셨구나. 대단하세요.
Would a vampire by default be this nervous though? Mina still sounds somewhat confused and uncertain. I think my positive attitude is starting to do its job. Yeah, I can't help but feel there are still some barriers in place here. I decided to wait a little so she can maybe shake those remaining feelings of doubt. Mina stays silent for quite a while and clenches her hands so tightly that my business card has been crumpled.
PD님, 저
Oh, this is a different stern look. What exactly now, Mina?
제보할 게 있어요.
You have a report for me. She breaks the silence, having finally made up her mind, it seems. I nod and pay attention. With a serious professional look on my face, I take out my always ready pen and notebook. Mina comes closer, sitting down next to me. I'm happy. This means I still give off the impression that I'm good at my job. I listen attentively.
이 마을 뭔가 이상해요.
That is a light way of putting it. There is definitely something up with this place, but for goodness sakes, that is putting it incredibly lightly.
그것도 아주 많이.
Yeah, a lot. Actually, that was my first impression as well. Have you seen anything in particular?
본 게 아니라
You didn't just see it.
저 겪었어요.
You went through it. So it could only be some kind of dimensional portal. What happened to you? Mina looks at me, her expression conveying a sense of utter helplessness and paralyzing fear. The fear in her eyes is so deep-rooted that it somehow even manages to send chills down my spine.
저 이 마을에 왔는데 갑자기 안개가 꼈어요.
The fog is to restrict visibility from outside and keeping everything concealed in.
그런데 마을 사람들이 천천히 다가와서
So they walked up to you.
모르겠어요. 이상할 정도로 친절한데 그 눈빛들이 너무 무서웠어요.
Yes, menacing. They can act kind, but their aura exceeds worrisome thoughts.
그래서 여기서 나가게 해달라고 하니까
But he didn't comply. Oh!
갑자기 바닥에 머리를 찌으면서 피가 날 때까지 찌으면서
Mindless beast now.
용서해달라고 소리치는 거예요.
But he didn't stop.
그래서 도망가려 했어요.
And he ended up back in the same place he began.
그런데 이상하게 계속 같은 자리를 맴돌고
Yeah.
사람들은 다가오고
Yeah. That's not good. It's the same experience that we experience, minus the head-pounding part
어찌할 줄을
and the
몰라서
people
막
part.
달리다가 이 여관에 도착한 거예요.
Okay. It's a pretty disorganized story, but it sure does sound scary. Mina felt threatened by the villagers and tried to escape the village, but the fog caused her to go in circles, always leading her back to the same place. I can't even imagine how having gone through all of that made her feel. Mina's trembling. Talking about it must have conjured up vivid memories of the experience.
다행히 여관에까지 쫓아오진 않았는데
Fortunately, that is the case.
창문 밖으로 보니까 근처를 계속 서성이고 있고
Okay.
그 이후 너무 무서워서 저
That you isolated yourself in this room. I can't imagine how hard that must have been for you. I take a moment to think about Mina's situation. If I look at this under the premise that Mina is a real human, the villagers appeared to have mistaken Mina for one of the 5 monsters. That would at least explain where their bizarre behavior stems from. Mina was scared of them, and they were scared of Mina. But what if I look at it under the premise that Mina isn't human? Some small changes to the emotions she felt in her story, and the whole thing takes a turn in a very dark direction. My mind wanders, and the crazy theories make my hand shake while I'm holding the pen.
피디님 이럴 땐 어떻게 해야 돼요?
What are we meant to do here?
경찰에 전화도 안 되고 너무 무서워요.
Yeah, there's no police around here. I think they will all turn into zombies in their own ways. Oh, I have to stay calm. I don't know anything about her, and I can't just be scared of her for no reason. I write Mina Hyan, human, into my notebook, and stop my hand from shaking. You also put a question mark in there as well, for goodness sakes! First, can I ask you a few things? I sound rather carefree without intending it. It must be me trying to hide my own nervousness. I'm also speaking quite informally without really realizing it.
네.
Okay, yeah. In a way, I feel like my casual attitude has actually put Mina somewhat at ease. I'll wait for her to calm down a little, then think about possible questions. We can learn more about Mina later. The girl's a witness, maybe she knows more details. Should I ask how she ended up here? Well, she kind of explained that already. We're going to dive into it. More things she saw. Did you see anything else? You know, something else about the villagers.
마을 사람들이요?
Yep. Every little detail helps. So is there anything you can tell me? I try to reassure her to get her to talk. If she saw anything else, it may serve as a clue how to increase my chance of survival in this damn place.
죄송해요. 더 이상은 잘...
Well, that was worth it, but for goodness sakes. Oh, I see. You're sure? Mia simply bows her head and apologizes. Well, can't help it. There's no use in trying to dig any deeper, so I decided to move on to another question. Ah! How did she end up in Hope Hill Village? Can you tell me how you ended up here?
저는 이 마을은 그냥 우연히 들어온 거예요.
Did you not see anything around you that forced you to come to this village?
안개 때문에 길을 잃어서...
Got lost in the fog. Really? I actually came here after having wandered through the fog myself. The fog is really thick. I heard it's going to take a while before it clears.
저는 이 근처에 살거든요. 하지만 이렇게 안개가 심하게 끼는 곳이 있다는 건 처음 알았어요.
A fog of this nature or a fog this thick? So even Mina, who lives in this area, has never experienced this kind of fog before? One more reason to assume this is something artificial rather than natural. Exactly. Whether it's the work of the villagers or the devil himself, this is of supernatural origin. It's definitely not something of a nature origin. Natural origin, I mean. Well, even if you live in the area, this place is a little too remote for a girl to come here all alone. Did you run away from home? A falling out with your family?
네, 맞아요.
Somehow I'm not convinced by this part. Mina's reply seems highly evasive. It's yeah, exactly, I'm thinking that too. It's obvious she's lying, but I don't know enough about her to inquire further and dig deeper. I guess I should be content with having found out that there's something she's hiding. What about your family then? Any family members that live here? Mina just shakes her head slowly. What is up with her gloom expression? Looking at Mina, I decide to move on and ask the next question, which I think is the most kind of reassuring one. What about you yourself, Mina? Can you tell me a little more about you? I only know your name so far, really.
저는 그냥 학생이에요. 고등학생이요.
A high school student. Yep. Anything else there's to say about you?
네.
Like hobbies?
없어요.
So no hobbies? Nothing you do in your spare time? Any preferable subjects? Or any subjects that you don't like? There's something to talk about there. It's a very simple question, yet enough to unnerve her. My gut tells me she's hiding something. Are you sure? This isn't even something where my professional intuition is needed. Mina simply isn't good at lying, exactly. Considering the circumstances, I decided to skip the question for now. Looks like I didn't get any useful information after all, that's it. There's nothing else I can ask. Glossing over all the questions and answers only provides little information. In my opinion, it's clear that Mina is hiding something. But with what I have right now, there's no way of knowing anything more than that. If anything, all this has done is make me more suspicious of Mina.
죄송해요. 저 아무런 도움도 못
You're damn right you're not help. I'm just kidding. We're not supposed to be like that. What? That's not true. You had the courage to tell me about what happened, didn't you? Not everybody in that situation would be able to do that. That's very useful. Not many people are that brave. Don't worry, you can leave the rest to me now. Okay?
감사합니다.
I think it's the first time I've seen Mina smile.
이 마을에 피디님 같은 분이 계셔서 정말 다행이에요.
Thanks. I hope this is not some kind of plan that you've conjured up, Mina. because I'll be very
이제 다
starting to lose.
생각해서.
Damn, I would have lost hope at that moment, for goodness sakes. It's okay. You can rest assured now. Don't worry. I'll stay in touch and tell you about what I find out, sorry. A small yet bright smile lights up Mina's face. My confidence approach seemed to have worked. Shamelessly hiding my true feelings is one of the strengths my job has taught me over the years. Although in some cases it does remove a part of your humanity, we end our conversation. Conversation, miss. It's a little bit of an error there. With us, even though there was an error for me as well, with us both having deceived each other while withholding information, I'm concerned. If Mina is a real human, there's no way lying to each other like this will lead to a trusting relationship. I think I need to find out more about her. Indeed.
조심하세요, 피디님. 이 마을 정말 이상하니까.
Normal? No. Abnormal? Yes. Don't worry. This isn't my first rodeo. I've dealt with the paranormal before, and I died. And I rise again, to witness the same things again, but hopefully to reavert my mistakes.
네, 피디님만 믿을게요.
You can trust the motel owner as well. Actually, don't trust him. He's a little creepy as well. I looked at a closed door and then headed to my next destination, lost in thought. Mina Hain. There's really not a whole lot I can say about her as of right now. But what I do know is that she's hiding something, and that fact alone is highly concerning. She doesn't want to spill the beans just yet. There needs to be more trust before she really opens up to what she has to hide. It's past regular lunchtime already. I decide to explore the surroundings as planned. Investigating the murder site already wasted some time this morning. I should settle for one place in particular today. Alright then, where should I investigate? There's one more place in the abandoned school that I want to investigate, which is the school's storage. Let's go. I go to the abandoned school warehouse. It's a building formerly used as a storage space on the abandoned school's grounds. All kinds of things must have been stored here back in the day. Random knickknacks. But I wonder if there's anything left. Looking at the clutter in front of a building, which is not of a surprise, it seems like people have been here quite recently. Obviously. Alright, time to look around. Let's see what we... Oh, there's room for an item of sorts. So let's look at the eyes first. I look inside the wooden box. There are some old books inside. Is there anything I could use? I look through the books one by one. But in the end, there's nothing useful to be found. Gosh darn it. I regret having wasted my time and step away. Alright, should I keep looking around? Or perhaps there's a limit to how much you can look around. Maybe it's nothing to do with the fact that there's like eyes or anything like that, but there's just like a genuine amount of limitation which you can do within a certain given time. Barrel! A drum barrel! It appears to have been used as an impromptu fireplace. I doubt there's anything there, but I'll look inside anyway. There are lots of wooden boards inside used as firewood. I push the firewood around. Is that really all that's in here? Hold on. I spot a book among the firewood. I reach out and grab it. Ah, it's a book giving off an ominous vibe, and because it's green, it must relate to the Undead one. It's titled Undead Survey Diaries Volume 3. These are the writings of a novelist who conducted research regarding the undead. The villagers appear to have gathered info on the undead with the help of these diaries. I see. This will help me understand the identifying characteristics of the undead. I put the book in my bag. This looks like important evidence. Alright, should I keep looking around? I think we should in some cases. Well, we can't advance if we don't, actually. That's just what I'm going to say right now. We can't advance if we do not look around. Box. There's a paper box. I carefully open the box as one does. The book is empty. just like my promises in life. I'll have to look elsewhere. Oh, the box is empty. And therefore the book is empty. There's a small box on the desk. I decide to open it. Satanism. So another one of those monthly novel things. There's a magazine in a box. A fully fledged occult magazine called Monthly Satanism. I can't tell how helpful this will be. I'll just take it with me for now. What, should I keep looking around? Yes, we should. Various books and magazines are scattered on the floor. Apologies for my yawning. I go through them one by one to see if there's anything that could help. It's one of these Maxim magazines again. Also, the questionable sparse of clothing. I found a magazine that stands out. It's called Monthly Magazine. An occult magazine pretty light on actual content. I don't think it'll be that helpful. I'll mull it over for a while, then put the magazine in my bag. I'll read it later. Alright, should I keep looking around? Exactly, we should do that. We should always do that. The door is tightly secured with a robust chain. I peek inside the warehouse. It's totally empty. There's nothing there. Why lock this up if there's nothing there anyway? I grumble and turn my head away. Time to look elsewhere. We're still missing an item of sorts. There's a book next to the chest. Is that a Bible? I look at it more closely. It's a Bible written upside down and with bizarre drawings in it. I'm not exactly religious, but even I can sense the malice and dread coming from this book. I feel very uneasy. I try to cover the book up. Huh? There's something that fell between the bookshelves. I pick it up, and it's a letter. It appears to be a text written by the local cult's bishop. I'll read through it later. Okay, I grab it and tuck it into my pocket. Shall I keep looking around? Absolutely. What else is there to all of this? That's not going to be the case. I think the final thing is over here, but we still haven't found an item yet. Lockers. I open them up one by one. The first one is empty. The second one is full of random junk. And in the third, there are some books. None of them appear to be useful. And the last one? Crap! Damn it, this last one won't budge. It's half open, and can neither be closed nor open. It's stuck. I lean over and inspect the locker more closely. It looks like the hinges are so rusty that they won't move. Desperate times, desperate measures. I muster myself and raise my foot. I then kick the half-open locker as hard as I can. Oh. Damn it! I stumble because my feet are positioned the wrong way. Come on, this. Oh, okay, not a slipstick routine. Let's try this again. Okay, so it's got to be in a circle, I imagine. There we go. I got to do it with my mouse rather than the enter button. The rusty cracking sound of the hinges is heard as it is gently being opened. Whoo-wee, here we go. This had better be worth it. I'm not a fan of hard work. I can't stand sweating. I wipe off some sweat as I get close to fully unlocking it. Fox Spirit again. The abandoned school is good for Fox Spirit stuff. It's a book about past events. It's titled Fox Spirit Hunting Diaries Volume 5. This is the story of a hunter who tried to catch the legendary nine-tailed fox. Looks like the villagers have studied the fox spirit's trace with the help of this book. In that case, this is more than just an ordinary fantasy story. I put the book in my bag. This could contain important clues. Alright, should I keep looking around? I think we've done absolutely everything. I've looked around some more, but I couldn't find anything else. That's all for now. Village records updated. I took too long. I should go before the villagers find out. Right. I know who I want to see first today. But the question is it going to go smoothly as last time? I'll take a look at what I've gathered so far on my phone. 2 pieces of monster information as well as 3 village logs. Good, I should give all of this a careful read. Indeed we should. Indeed we should. Having finished dinner, I'll return to my room. Phew. As all... Oh, evening? Oh yeah, it was the afternoon, wasn't it? As always, my first order of business is cozying up under my blanket. This is the only moment of the day where I can catch my breath. It's important to give oneself a break every now and then. Everything about this place sucks. I lament and audibly vent my frustration into my blanket. While lying down, a face pops up in my mind. It is that of her who I've met here in Hope Hill. I wonder why I'm thinking of her specifically. Is it because I think she's a human? Or is it just a sign of me having grown attached to her? Come to think of it, there's been a third murder. I'm sure that considering the circumstances, I could appear suspicious in their eyes as well. It is important to figure out who the human is, but building trust with that person is paramount to my survival. I stand up. I should spend the rest of the evening with her. You think so? We've still got more to put together when it comes to that kind of trust. So, Bishop's speech. Mephistop and the Sinnersloth. Let's see. Okay. Oh yeah, it's the right click, isn't it? This one. That's only one thing. And about monster types. Okay, I wonder why this would be in a magazine like this. I don't know. Let's see. Undead. Undead records. I thought I found something in a previous episode, but apparently not. Fox Spirit. And I thought I found something in the first episode about Fox Spirit, but obviously it's not saved here. So the only way I can really look at all of this is just to essentially just go back through all my previous recordings and compile together a bunch of stuff. Undead rejects Arak's way. A monster of fear. Succubus, witch, summon with dolls. Right. Time to go through with this then. We're at the halfway point when it comes to meeting people. Okay, I should go see Sumi. But where would she be? Is she still held up in her room? I arrive at Sumi's room. I figure she'll be in there instead of the abandoned school. I hold my breath for a moment and listen closely, but I can't hear any sound coming from behind the door. Hey Sumi, are you in there? Even after knocking on her door, there's no answer. It seems like Sumi really isn't here. Maybe she... Yeah, there has to be it. The spot where I last encountered Sumi, where Gensuk's house is. I head for the abandoned village. Sumi must have gone there. My instincts are telling me that. So past the first murder site, and here. Having been there before, it's easy for me to find Gensuk's house. I can't be sure, but perhaps that's where I'll find Sumi. I nervously make my way to Gensuk's house while constantly having to remind my stiff legs to move. And then... I thought so. Hello, Sumi. Sumi is there. Somewhat unexpectedly, to say the least. Her entire body is transparent. Oh yeah, we can partially see through it, can't we now? Like the door sort of thing. Hello, Johnson Park. Your body. Upon seeing my dumbfounded expression, Sumi looks down at her own body. Judging from her reaction, she seems to be aware of the fact that she's transparent right now. Sumi?
궁금한 게 많을 거야.
Yes, I have a fair few. Sumi says what's on my mind before I can. I slowly nod.
전부 대답해줄게.
Answer all of them? Are you sure you can trust her so easily, though? The look on her face as she says that makes it seem like she's letting go of something she's held on to for a long time. Though I'm puzzled by the sudden change of behaviour, I can see that this is my chance to get answers to the many questions that has accumulated so far. I look at Sumi and carefully think about my choice of words. Let's see. Why are you so obsessed with exorcism? You are so obsessed with exorcism. How come? Especially considering, well, you know, the fact that you're dead.
그건 잘 설명은 못하겠어.
I imagine it has something to do with the dark clouds. I find it hard to explain.
일종의 본능 같은 거였을 거야.
Instinct.
사람이 죽게 되면 죽기 전 가장 강하게 남아있는 기억, 오직 그것만을 되뇌이게 돼.
So your desire was to erase the curse.
사람 한 번 죽여본 적 없는 착한 사람이 억울한 죽음을 당하면
Yep.
끔찍한 원기가 되기도 하고.
And even though at first glance all you could see is that hatred, deep down they are a good person.
천하의 악당이 죽기 전 자신의 인생을 강하게 후회하면 수호령이 되기도 하고.
How?
나 같은 경우는
Neither?
죽기 전에 우리 마을을 덮친
I see,
역기들을 쫓아내는 것만 생각했던 것 같아.
You've been doing this all this time? Without knowing why? For decades?
안타까워할 필요 없어.
Come on now, don't say that. Not after all we've chatted about. Don't you dare say we can't feel pity or anything like that.
그런 게 죽음이라는 거야.
That doesn't mean to say that we would be happy about it.
너도 언젠가는 겪게 될 인간이 숙세에서 벗어나는 가장
I think that'll be sooner than you think, Sumi. At a glance, Sumi's smile seems to be one of perfect harmony and peace. No more regrets, no more hopes. Like she doesn't want for anything anymore. But there's something else I have to ask her. Let's ask for... Actually, we'll ask about Gensuk Park first. Gensuk Park. That's the name of a precious friend to you, right?
응, 절대 잊을 수 없는 친구.
And at some point, unfortunately, you did.
하지만 잊어버렸어.
Not intentional, mind you.
무당이 되기 싫었어.
Yeah, your father wants you to be a shaman.
하지만 근숙이가 병에 걸리니까 뭐든 해보고 싶어진 거야.
I see. So you wanted to become one to help him.
무당이 돼서 그 이상한 병도 고칠 수 있으면, 그러면 다시 예전처럼 즐겁게 놀 수 있지 않을까? 그래서 무당이 되어 역귀들과 싸우려 했던 건데.
However,
정작 가장 중요한 걸 잊어버리고 있었다니.
and what was that most important thing at all? Is it about the person himself?
근숙이가 죽은 거 몰랐어. 내가 근숙이보다 먼저 죽어버렸으니까.
You died before him.
그러니까 난 아무것도 못한 거야.
Don't say that. The effort to do something in it is worthwhile. The experience you gain from it is an accomplishment in itself, despite the end results not being a success. Like, there are many things that we do as people in our lives that we feel like we didn't accomplish, but we did in some aspects because of the experience of trying to accomplish in that said thing. Hearing Sumi's bitter words breaks my heart. I can't fathom why two childhood friends would be made to endure such a horribly cruel fate. I look away for a moment and suppress the sadness dwelling up from within me. I'll ask her another question. How did you die? You're already dead. I mean, you said you're a ghost or something, right?
그래. 정확하게 말하면
An earthbound.
이 땅을 떠나지 못하는 홀령이야.
I thought that might be the case. How did you die?
기억 안 나. 아마 사고였겠지.
An accident.
퇴마에 필요한 걸 찾다 산에서 굴렀거나 아니면 물에 빠졌거나.
Although you was a friend of somebody who had the curse, so maybe if the curse was unable to get you, then they directly killed you. Listen to Sumi calmly theorize about the way she died is weird, making it hard for me to know how to react. Do I try to comfort her, or should I rather keep my mouth shut? I slowly open my mouth, still unsure about what I'm actually going to say. So, you seem to be fully aware that your body is transparent, right?
이건 당연한 일이야.
Only natural. Only natural? I don't get it. Can you help me understand?
난 지방령이야. 한 곳에 매여져 있는 귀신.
And that one place is this village.
원래 이런 육체를 가질 수가 없어. 그런데 어느 날 갑자기 몸이 생겨난 거야.
Okay. So the body was just there?
잘 모르겠어. 그냥 어느 날 갑자기 몸이 생겼어.
You found yourself in this one. A physical body, born of nothing. I wonder if this is somehow connected to the ritual that I'm unwittingly become a part of. But it's too early to jump to
몸이
conclusions.
생기니까 살아있을 때처럼 아프고 배고프고 졸렸어.
Because the ritual made it possible again for that to be a thing.
육신을 움직이는 게 오랜만이라 나도 모르게 다치기도 하고.
Ooh. Don't do that. This explains why Sumi often said she had trouble moving or that she felt weak. I thought she sounded like a senior citizen back then. Though in a sense I guess it doesn't get much more senior than an actual ghost.
하지만 몸이 생기니까 엄청 좋았어. 단단한 땅을 밟고 선다는 게 기쁜 나머지 몸이 생기자마자 이 마을에서 나가보려고 했었는데
But you couldn't because of the fog.
결국 몸이 생겨도 이 마을에서 못 나가는 건 똑같았어.
But also you're bounded to this place. You can't leave?
짙은 안개가 다시 마을로 돌려보내. 두세 번 나가보려 했는데 전부.
Sumi's words make me think. I also remember wandering around in the fog. It's not because Sumi's bound to here for eternity, but because of the rules of the ritual set by the devil. However, that's not something I can tell Sumi about right now.
나는 그게 였기 때문이라고 여겼어.
The lingering evil.
아직 하지 못한 일이 있으니 이 마을에서 못 나가는 거라고. 그런데 지금 생각해보니까 그게 아닌 것 같아.
Never give up until the very end. And if you are hard enough to not give up, then that end is delayed until the far reaches of the future.
이 마을이 나한테 기회를 준 거야. 마을에서 내가 잊어버린 기억을 되찾을 수 있는 기회.
Yeah.
그리고 그 기회가 끝났으니까 다시 육신이 사라지는 건 당연한 거지.
However, so you think all of this gave you an opportunity to make things right?
하지만 난 성불 못해.
How comes? How so? Yeah.
난 아무것도 못하고 죽었어.
Don't say you've accomplished nothing.
근수기도 구하지 못했고 역귀도 쫓아내지 못했고.
Stop saying these things. Gensuk died because of the curse, not because you couldn't save him from the curse.
이 마을에 더 머무를 이유는 없으니 지방령으로부턴 벗어나겠지만.
Are you certain about that one?
그래봤자 부유령이나 되어 구천을 떠돌 거야. 난 그걸로 좋아.
Make-believe thoughts are easier to fall under than acceptance.
이 저주받은 마을에서 떠날 수 있으니 그걸로도 충분해.
Sumi appears to have turned slightly more transparent than before. It's as if she's about to disappear at any moment now. I have to keep talking. I tilt my head to the side and ask another question. I think about what other questions I have. There are none.
다 물어본 거야? 나도 더 해줄 말은 없지만.
Can I ask you one last question? Do you really have no lingering feelings, regrets, doubts?
다 들었잖아. 미련이 뭐가 있겠어. 난 결국 근수기를 살리지 못했어. 근수기가 죽었는지도 몰랐어. 이런 세상에 미련 따위 있을 리가.
Not even your new friend here? Would you like to see Gensuk? I speak without really thinking about it first. My mouth just moves out of nowhere, saying the thought that suddenly crosses my mind out loud. I've been thinking about this. So don't you think that Gensuk misses you too? Decades have passed, but I've no doubt Gensuk is definitely waiting for you somewhere.
무슨 말인지 모르겠어.
Somewhere far away, within realms which are not yet reachable within your current form. There is a man that is your friend, and that friend is watching you from that place. They would want you to live your life regardless of your current form. It doesn't mean to say that you should be binded to your supposed fate.
근숙이는 죽었잖아. 도대체 어디에서 날 기다린다는 건데?
The answer is simpler than you think. Probably at the grave. I'm still new to all this supernatural stuff, so I'm very cautious about what I say. However, it is commonly believed that the spirits of the dead linger at their gravesite. People talk to them as if they're still there, carefully trim the plants, and make food offerings. I used to shrug my shoulders at these gestures, but with everything that's been going on around here, I'd say if there's one place that Gensuk spirit waits, it's without a doubt at the gravesite. Even if Gensuk's spirit turns out not to be there, shouldn't we at least take a look at the final resting place? If we don't, can you truly claim to be free of any lingering feelings?
그건
That's what. Gensuk's family has left this place behind a long time ago. I have to believe that the burial ground is somewhere away from here. Nobody would bury their child in a cursed village responsible for so many deaths. That means Gensuk's grave will be somewhere away from here outside. So let's get out of here.
하지만 난 이곳에서 나갈 수가...
Neither can I. There has to be a way for both of us to escape together. I promise I'll find out. I hold Sumi's transparent hand. Her hand feels tender and icy cold. I squeeze my hand a little tighter, worried about at the thought of her suddenly disappearing completely.
난 영혼이라서 여기서 못 나가는 거야. 너가 어떻게 해줄 수 없어. 넌 이런 거에 대해 아무것도 모르잖아.
Never give up. That's not true. You're clearly still here. You have a body. That makes you human in my eyes now. You're absolutely right. I don't know anything about spirits, but I know more about humans than you for obvious reasons. Wouldn't you agree?
잘 알아?
I am one!
테레비 방송 만드는 사람이라서?
Yes. Right, yeah, exactly. Working on the Newsrace TV program taught me a lot about humans, that's what I meant.
그런 거야?
Yeah, that's totally the case. I'll find a way out of here. We'll visit Gensuk's grave together.
정말 나가게 해줄 거야?
Yes.
근숙이 만나러 갈 수 있어?
Yes. I look at Sumi, who looks at me like she's about to cry at any moment. I tighten my grip around her hand even more. For a moment, I could suddenly feel warmth pulsing through her previously cold hand. Back at the motel, I lead Sumi to her room and then return to mine. Whew. Sumi asked me to find a way out of here, but I already know the trick to escaping. On the 9th day, a man and a woman can leave Hope Hill Village together. All I have to do is wait for the right moment to leave together with Sumi. I just have to find out if she's really human. Actually, scratch that, she's not really human in the first place. But was she, in her earthbound state, is she a witch or a human? And I was told Sumi could potentially be a witch. So in the end, the real question is Sumi an earthbound spirit or actually a witch? I get up and look at the hand that I held Sumi's hand with earlier. I could still feel remnants of the warmth that had suddenly returned to her previously icy skin. I clenched my fist. I'll find evidence that proves Sumi's not a witch. There's still work to do. Yeah, but the hanging dolls and the summoning of a witch does not prove so otherwise. Having finished everything on my schedule, I'm back in my room. The sun's already setting. This is the end of the 5th day. I'm beat. Back in my room, move around and scratch a little to loosen up my tired body. I've been busy working around all day long. On top of the physical part, the mental aspect of it all is very taxing as well. But little by little, I can tell I'm making progress. It's like there's finally a light in this hellish maze where the exit wasn't visible so far. Just a little more. I mumble to myself while cozying up under my blanket. There is still no way to know exactly who the real human is. But if I keep working at it as hard as today, I'm sure I'll figure out in no time. No time at all. Yes, definitely. Are you sure now? Is one especially sure now? We are now going into 3 days until the selection. Okay, so that's blue for some odd reason. You'd think that'd be red. And of course the phone goes off. But would it go off twice? It's morning already. My eyelids still feel incredibly heavy. I must have slept badly. I'll wake up, stumble around a little, and check my phone. Of course, it's that one. 3 days until the selection. I expected this message. What's more important today is... Oh... It was all in one message. Where the murder site is located. I grab my phone and wait for a while, but I don't receive any other text messages. Phew. I let out a relieved sigh. Looks like there's no incident today. Damn it. I feel a little better and toss the phone on my blanket. Was I missing something there? I made plans in my head about what I have to do today. I mull it all over quite carefully. I don't think there's a lot I can do currently. I have to meet with a woman who's most likely to be the human and establish a bond of trust, and I obviously have to scour around for evidence. The time to draw my conclusions about the culprits draws nearer, so today's search will be very important. If I have some time left in the evening, I should focus on building up more trust once again. Right, first things first, I think I've earned a little more sleep. I don't think so. That should not be. We should use all of our time necessary. Oh, is it encounter time? After a couple more hours of sleep, I get up and leave the motel. My mind seems a lot clearer. Looks like sleep was all I needed. I breathe in the doughy air. No matter how horrible this village is, I can't deny that the morning air is highly refreshing. However refreshing this kind of air would be, time for my appointment soon. I make calculation in my head about how much time remains. I also think about who's most likely to be the human. With my thoughts in order, I continue. First of all, I should go to that person. No, we should help. Oh, we can't actually. We can't see him. I wonder why she's red. Oh, I see. It's just because of the fact that they're highlighted at this point in time. Caring, introverted, arrogant, just lawyer. We're still gonna see more of our friend, although I think that for a good ending you need to get all 6 pieces of information down along with the trust being fully there. So that's the thing. Oh dear, Sumi's trust complete. Is it going to take 1 or 2 more things? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so 1 more I would think. Yeah, because that's 1 thing. Yeah, that looks like it'll fill it up. So go see her. Okay, I should go see Sumi. On my way to Sumi, I can't shake this feeling of anxiousness. I'm worried that Sumi could simply disappear at any moment. Last time I saw her, she was only barely hanging on to this world. If she changed her mind, even if only in the slightest, she'll vanish. Sumi, it's me! My hand trembles as I knock on Sumi's door. It is definitely me. Yes. Oh my gosh, she's more transparent than before, I think. The door opens and I see Sumi standing there, still transparent. Even though I was prepared, it's not a pleasant sight. So, how's it going?
뭐가?
though it sounds a little weaker than before, just how your general well-being is. I'm glad to hear her usual old voice, with the same quirks as before. Never mind. Could I come in for a minute? Okay. I silently followed Sumi into her room. I sat down right in front of her. Are you okay?
아까부터 뭐가...
You have been okay. I see. What have you been doing?
그냥 있었어.
Just staying here?
근숙이랑 놀았던 기억을 떠올리고 있었어.
Really? You two must have played together quite often.
응, 거의 매일 놀았던 것 같아.
Almost every day. What did you guys do for fun? Having read through Gensik's diary, I have a rough idea about how the two spent their time together, but right now I'm deliberately trying to make Sumi recall their happiest memories together. Exactly. Sumi needs to keep wanting to see Gensik again. As long as that thought is her driving force, she'll stay in this world. I truly hope that I can help these two actually meet once
주로
again.
마을을 돌아다녔어.
Just hang around the
이
village.
밑에 있는 국민학교에서도 자주 놀았고.
The elementary school.
호숫가도 강가도 전부 놀이터였어. 근숙이네 부모님도 친절하셔서 자주 놀러 갔었는데
It's good to have understanding parents,
그냥 근숙이랑 노는 모든 시간이 좋았어.
because it was a cherishable friendship that you both built together. I see, that's great.
너는 친구랑 안 놀아?
I don't have any friends. I'm just kidding. Huh?
노는 이야기 하는데 표정이 재미없어.
I guess she's right. All of this is tugging at my heartstrings. I shouldn't act this way. For Sumi's sake, I should go along with her story and be more uplifting. I can think about how cruel a fate all of this is when I'm alone, not when I'm with her.
친구가 없나 보군.
Thanks for saying that.
괜찮다. 나랑 친구하면 되잖아.
Could we not been friends before? I'm a little upset calling her calling me lonely and friendless, but then again, I have nothing to say to deny it. Sure, there are people I meet up with sometimes and talk to, but I, as well as they, would hesitate to call it a friendship. Acquaintance. Alright. If you want to be friends with me, I accept.
뭐라는 거야? 받아주긴 뭘 받아주나?
Your
친구는 그런
request
거
of
아니야.
friendship.
자연스럽게 친해지는 거지.
That is actually true.
진짜 친구 없었나 보군. 너.
Well, once more her simple yet sharp common sense manages to utterly humiliate me. I awkwardly scratch my head and can't help but feel ashamed and embarrassed. Yeah, well, so hey, being friends with you sounds good.
잊지도 않아봤으면서 좋은지 어떻게 알아?
Stop it! We all needed our first friendship in our life, so you can't really say that. Jeez, someone save me, please. I've no idea what to say anymore.
근숙이한테 널 소개해주고 싶어.
You both have the last surname. Me? Really?
친구 없이 지내온 나에게 친구가 뭔지 알려준 애야. 너도 분명히 도와줄 거야.
Thank you. I guess in Sumi's eyes, I'm an adult who grew up without friends and ended up all alone. For some reason, I don't mind her treating me this way at all. I actually never knew if it was possible, so for friendship to feel this heartwarming. I should probably keep ignoring the fact that my friendship is a transparent ghost for now. It doesn't matter about their species, it's who they are.
이 마을 빨리 나가고 싶어.
Same here, but we've still got 3 days until the ritual. Me too, I'm tired of this place as well. I'm hard at work to find out more, but just wait a little bit longer.
응, 기다리고 있을게.
You'll be waiting. Sumi speaks like she's absolutely convinced that she'll get out of here. It's not a question of if for her, only when. I'm truly grateful for all the trust she's putting in me. But at the same time, it feels like a heavy burden I must carry. I can't fail. I had to see through this. For Sumi's sake. For our sake. Alright, I got to go now.
내가 도와줄 건 없어?
Is there anything I can help you with? Thank you, Sumi. But I'll be fine on my own. I'll come back soon. Just stay patient a little longer.
응, 여기서 가만히 있을게.
Oh, there's no romantic scene between... actually, I'm just kidding. Not all visual novels need a romantic scene between two people, for goodness sakes. This new attentive Sumi is so different from her previous rebellious self that I find myself almost wanting to pat her head. But I'd rather not risk getting hit by an unexpectedly strong punch. Take care, Sumi. See you soon. Yes. That's going to be the last time we see Sumi until the ritual starts. Hearing the door shut behind me, I walk through the motel hallway. Speaking to Sumi today has made me certain of something. Gensek's spirit has to be at the grave. Staying there for however long it takes Sumi to come back. For the sake of these two friends who have been apart for so long, I have to do everything in my power to help. Now it's time for some investigations. There's still some time left. Oh, who should I visit next? Okay, escape. We have finally fully built up Sumi's trust, which is wonderful. Right, let's go see Hannah next, and hope we don't get electrocuted along the way. Thank you very much. Undead, Fox Spirit. We found out half about the Fox Spirit, but that doesn't help us because two of these cases, sorry, has fear as a kind of monster type. Deception. Fear. Deception. A monster of fear. And nothing else speaks of monster type here. If I can look through every single one of these places and just jot down what I found there, then what you can put together there is possibly the fastest way of being able to discover all of the pieces of a particular being. Because I doubt we can put together every single shred of evidence here. There's just not enough navigation points. Not enough navigation points to be able to do all of this. Unless, of course, there are some places with more monster facts than others. So, yeah. Let's see. My first encounter with Hannah was quite shocking. I'm reluctant to meet her again, but I have to for various reasons. Exactly. Okay, I should go see Hannah. I arrive at the abandoned village. A desolate, depressing sight, forgotten and left to the relentless powers of nature. That creepy witness guy told me Hannah Shea, he could be a fox spirit. A nine-tailed fox? It's nuts! The nine-tailed fox, a creature of myth and legend, not something real? Does this all look real to you, for goodness sakes? The abnormal is now normal. Did I even hear him right? I can't help but chuckle. What kind of sick version of reality have I ended up in? It's almost like I'm in a horror visual novel, or some kind of horror reality. Horrific alternative reality. I stroll through the abandoned village and carefully observe my surroundings. It's a weird feeling. The fact that Hannah could supposedly be some sort of evil creature scares me. On the other hand, I'm on edge because I can't find her. The motel owner said she'd be somewhere around here. At a ruined, desolate shack, I turn around the corner while lost in thought. Hi, you. There you are. Having heard the sound of my voice, Hannah turns around. The two of us just stare at each other for a moment.
전기 충격기가 그리웠어요?
Nah, I just wanted to talk to you, not get electrified. Pardon? The awkward atmosphere is made somewhat better by her casual quip. Or is it?
해본 말이에요.
Did I hear you loud and clear? I guess I need to hear it but from a different perspective. What are you doing in a place like this? I try to talk to Hannah, skillfully ignoring her tasely threats. Yeah, that's a bad pun right there. Tastefully. And yep, she's ignoring me. Damn, this whole situation is beyond awkward. And she's looking around all over the place, searching for something, all while seemingly ignoring my existence. There's something I've been meaning to talk to her about. Hannah. That day, when we saw the grisly scene, are you doing okay?
네.
Of course you're cold as ever. Awkwardness strikes back with full force once again.
박준성 씨는
Yes. Yes.
시사 프로그램 PD가 이런 곳에 왜 오신 거죠?
There's been a worrying case of disappearances of which we can't draw the actual cause of what those potential disappearances could be, but all of them have one thing in common, is that they all headed out in this particular direction on this particular road, and they never came back. Well, I paused a moment to think about my answer. I worry about how much about me I can openly tell Hannah. I can't exactly mention all that demonic stuff and talk about rituals and monsters. Then again, I wonder if clumsy lies are the way to go. That's simply a house of cards bound to collapse. With that in mind, I'll go with... I came here chasing a case that I'm in charge of. It's a missing persons case, quite a big one actually. And it's people, missing people.
실종 사건이요?
Yes, that is so.
규모가 크다는 건 무슨 뜻이죠?
Like nationwide big. Hannah's attitude seems to have changed slightly. We're talking big. Many missing people from multiple areas. They've all disappeared at the same time. Big enough to be labelled as a mass disappearance case.
그건 좀 이상한데요.
Yep. It is a little weird.
실종 사건이야. 늘 일어나고 있는 거잖아요.
It's the way in which they were just suddenly disappeared. Perhaps something to do with the cause of the... And for goodness sakes, our vampire friend is one of them.
집단이라고 특정할 만한 특이점이 있었다면 이슈가 됐을 텐데요.
One singular group. Something like this doesn't just happen out of the blue on such a grand scale. Once this gets reported, with broadcasts running all night long, that's when the severity becomes clear. Also, you can't forget to add the murder that happened here to the list. Or rather the death. Let's call it that for now. We can't be sure it's murder yet. But as you saw for yourself, this is not an ordinary death. Religious symbols, strangely arranged objects all over the place, a dead animal at that as well. If the bizarre death's directly related to a missing person's case, it's very likely that this is much more than your run-of-the-mill disappearance case.
그럼 PD님께서는 그 사건에 대해 계속 취재하실 생각이신가요?
Yes. What's with a sudden interest in my work, Miss Lawyer? Looks like I hit a sore spot. Hannah looks pissed. Having turned the tables this time, I feel triumphant for a moment, although I'm honestly confused. She's shown nothing but disinterest in everything I've had to say so far, so why is she curious all of a sudden? Well, yeah, I intend to keep covering the case. I've been working on the missing persons case for a while now, and it leads me here. I plan on following every clue I find. Hannah looks at me and seems to be thinking about something. Then points to a place right behind me.
잠시 저기 들어가서 말씀 좀 나누실래요?
No, if you've got the guts to electrocute me, you've got the guts to be able to openly talk out loud out in the open. Hannah seems ready to share something she had kept to herself till now. I nod and we entered the abandoned building together. For as shoddy as the place looks, it's doing a good job at keeping the biting wind at bay. Are you sleeping here? Hannah looks around and sits down on a creaky chair, but not before using a handkerchief to brush off the dust. There's another chair on the floor next to Hannah, but I choose to lean against the wall. It's cooler that way. Okay, let's talk. Hannah glances at the chair on the floor. I feel like she wants to say something, but then she turns her head and looks at me.
사실 전 누군가를 찾으러 여기 왔어요.
Who exactly?
그 사람도 얼마 전 실종됐죠.
A while ago. Wait, really? Can you give me more details? Confidential.
실종된 사람은 제 아버지의 친구분이세요.
A friend of your father's.
처음엔 실종 사건으로 조사되던 그 사건은
But
시간이 흐르자 살인 사건으로 조사 방향이 바뀌었죠.
suspected murder. A murder case.
그리고 그 살인 사건에 저희 아버지가 연루되셨어요.
You don't think Hannah's father is the devil himself, is it? And when you say involved, you mean...
맞아요.
Oh, I see.
살인 사건의 용의자로
He's been pointed at as the murderer in this case.
자신의 친구를 죽인 파렴치한 살인범으로요.
But what evidence do they have to suggest that Hannah's father killed their friend?
그래서 저 혼자 이 실종 사건을 조사했어요.
And you're a lawyer because?
아버지 친구분이 살아계시면 아버지는 자연스레 누명에서 벗어나실 테니까.
But the thing is, if you find him dead, then that also points towards your father's innocence, because your father wouldn't be able to come to this village without being isolated himself in it.
그렇게 그분의 흔적을 쫓다가 여기까지 오게 된 거예요.
Betrayal, breadcrumbs of evidence. Hannah, can I ask you something?
어떤 거요?
Am I right to assume that the reason you're telling me this, my association, connected cases? She suspects me of having had contact with who she's looking for. Her case and the one I'm chasing might be connected. Let's go with this one. Am I right to assume you suspect me of having had contact with this missing person?
무슨 말이에요?
It's no use pretending. I won't take it personally, so tell me. Do you think I was an accomplice? Despite my question, Hannah's expression remains unchanged. Maybe I got it wrong.
농담이신가요?
So I was wrong?
네.
Thanks. Crap, okay, back to business. So Hannah, do you think there's a connection between my missing persons case and the one you're working on? Hannah looks a little troubled upon hearing my question. I hope she can tell me everything, and that we can share our information. She's still somewhat hesitant.
네, 맞아요. 그리고 준성 씨는 실종 사건을 취재했으니 실종자 명단을 정리하셨을 거고.
Correct. And if your father's friend is on there, our two cases are, without a doubt, linked, connected, have something in common. I try to process over the information I've found so far. For the first time after the devil's assault on my senses, I feel like my journalistic instincts are finally reawakening. What's the name of this missing person?
권상현이라는 분이세요.
What, the same Kwan that, Sumi was friends with? Right. Like, there could be multiple Kwans in this story, but it just seems too far-fetched to believe otherwise. Sanghyun Kwan.
준성 씨가 찾던 실종자 명단에 있어요?
I've gone over the list of names 100 times already while covering the case. If Sangyan's name was on there, I would have remembered it already. However, no matter how hard I think, I don't recall having seen that name before. I'm afraid not. That's the first time I'm hearing that name. The two of us stay silent for a while. My mind is racing. There's so much going on in my head. We both shared what we know, but have no real results. We need way more details and specifics if we want to get to the bottom of this. While I'm still mulling things over, Hannah suddenly gets up.
우선 헤어지죠.
Okay, what? I hesitate and clumsily take my back off the wall that I'm leaning against. There's so many unanswered questions why she wants to call it quits, but I'm still trying to figure out
그러니까 그 정보란 걸 더 모아보자는 거예요.
from who or where. Hannah brushes off some dust that sticks to her pants from sitting on the chair as she speaks.
이렇게 해요. 조사하다가 뭔가 알아낸 게 있으면 여기서 만나기로.
What do you mean we can do this, Miss Electrocutor? Let's meet up back here if we find anything. Okay, I see what you mean by that.
우선은 우리가 쫓던 실종 사건의 본질에 집중해요.
The true nature of this disappearance
사망
case.
사건은 어차피 그 큰 줄기에서 뻗어간 사건으로 보이니까.
Yep, they all stem from the same root.
지금으로서 추측할 수 있는 건 아무래도 실종 사건들은 이 마을과 깊은 연관이 있어 보이니.
An entire connection to Hope Hill
이
Village.
마을을 조금만 살피면 뭔가 흔적이 나올 거라
And
생각해요.
it's not like we can actually escape the village to find any clues outside of it.
정리하자면 키워드는 실종자라는 거예요.
I think rather than the missing persons, which is the key, it's the root of the missing person's disappearance. Because when you go from there, you can find out more than just the missing persons.
각자 조사가 끝나면
But doing that obviously is a lot harder than just finding the missing persons. Or discovering the missing persons and their whereabouts.
그래요. 여기서 다시 만나 결과에 대해 이야기하죠. 여기라면 눈에도 안 띌 테니까.
You say that as if you're confident that nobody else knows about this part of the village. When there's such a small space, obviously everyone knows where everything is in a way. Hannah now does 3 heads for the door already. Her attitude offends me a little. We're both pursuing the same lead, working the same case. Despite this, she's trying to play it overly cool. I guess working and being sociable doesn't go hand in hand.
아참,
Yes? Just before leaving this dump, Hannah stops and turns around.
제가 이곳에 있던 거 어떻게 알았죠?
I was informed by the motel manager. I'm sorry, what?
아까 절 보고 찾았다고 했잖아요.
Yes?
제가 여기 있는 걸 알고 찾으러 오셨다는 뜻 아닌가요?
She sounds awfully harsh. Seriously, is this woman suspicious of me after everything we've talked about? The motel owner told me you'd be somewhere around here.
그 아저씨가?
Yep.
전 일부러 그 아저씨를 피해서 나왔는데요.
The motel owner's ugly grimace pops into my mind. His overly excited voice, his unsettling eyes following me. As expected, the motel owner's on the devil's side. Whether as a simple servant or more, I don't know. However, I can't exactly just talk about demons and the devil with Hannah out of nowhere. I'll invade the question. I'll ask her about the motel owner. That's more trusting, I think. You came out here to avoid the motel owner. Why?
이 마을 자체가 어딘가 이상하긴 하지만 그 아저씨는 특히 기분이 나빠요.
That you can say again.
대화하다 보면 내 목적이 뭔지, 내가 뭘 하려는지 전부 아는 듯한 눈치를 보이고.
Definitely some sort of messenger to the devil himself.
얼마 전엔 내가 어딜 갔다 왔는지도 알고 있더군요.
Yep.
마치 감시라도 한 듯이.
Yep.
아니, 방금 말은 잊어줘요.
I don't think we could just forget, you know.
그냥 꺼림칙한 것뿐이니까.
Okay. After Hannah finishes speaking, she turns away and leaves the house. With Hannah gone, I try to sort my thoughts. Hannah's clearly not willing to let her guard down around me just yet. A natural reaction given the circumstances. I'm not surprised as well after you just barely acquainted with one another. An unknown remote village, a dead body, a stranger who's never been here before. Honestly, I probably wouldn't trust myself either. Even being fully aware of all that, I can't help but feel a little frustrated. I scratch my head and start walking. I shouldn't preoccupy myself with this now. There are still many other things I have to take care of. Right, game progress saved. Lovely. I finish my morning routine and have lunch. Okay, the streets are empty. Now we go investigate a different place rather than the abandoned school for once. Now I can freely explore this area. I should move quickly. There's no time to waste. Where have we been so far with Sumi? We've been in... I think I'm going to have the lake as my next destination of finding information about witch style stuff. Although it looks like there's only 4 things that we can do here, 4 things that we could do there, 4 things that we could do at the forest, and 4 things we could do there. So finding everything out does require multiple playthroughs. But I think in another way as well, it requires some kind of outside resource to be able to archive all of this down. But the only thing that worries me is, are the things that spawn here randomized or certain? So for example, if I go for a second time in the school corridor in another playthrough, will I find the same items or different ones? Now that would be extremely harsh if that is the case. Like extremely harsh. So I think the lake is going to be my next point of interests, I feel. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and see you all in the next time of Novena Diabolos. We have fully gained the trust of Sumi in this case, and we are going to go into the case so that Sumi and Gensa can finally reunite with one another. But I feel like the data gathering of Sumi is going to be pivotal towards whether we get her good ending or bad ending, because I think each of these characters has a good ending and bad ending altogether. Or it could even just be the case where you get a bad ending because you didn't fully develop a trust with any of the girls. Thank you so much for watching, folks, and take care of yourselves.